Which has a greater hold on our life in day-to-day living? Our self-oriented, our animal self, or our divine self? So don't answer the question, I'll answer for you, okay? For the vast majority of people, beginning with myself, okay? The animal soul has a far greater hold on me than my divine soul. That's without a question. And I'm even aware of it. Took me many years to acknowledge it, but that's without a question. It's not even a question. Okay? It takes no effort whatsoever for me to think about me and what I need. Now, for me to think about you and what you need, who are you again? Right? So that is the nature of the human being. Now, by the way, this is not, the reason why I'm so comfortable saying this is because it's not a criticism. God designed us this way. This is the disposition He put us into this world as. Yes?
So there are some people that are more opposite than others, and some people can be aware of their divine soul versus their animal soul.
Yes.
And then some people are sort of stuck in a toxic way of being.
Yeah.
So when you encounter them and or just seeing them, they're kind of stuck in that toxic.
Yes. And they can't, and you for sure can't for them, because you're not them, right? So you for sure can't for them, right? So, yeah. And that's them, and that's their life, and that's their responsibility. And it's not yours, right? Your question only is, how am I, who makes decisions for me, and how am I going to relate to them? How am I going to be in relation to them, right? So I have a very good friend here, Dr. Leadis, who taught me something that I'll never ever forget many, many years ago. He told me that toxic people, because he once saw this is just a very clearly obvious, it was like obvious person who was extremely toxic. So I wanted to say, we're very quick to say people are narcissists and they're toxic and all of these things. So, a lot of times it's just our convenient interpretation of the situation because we just, right? But this was a situation where some guy was just off the rails. A guy walked in here, he was just completely off the rails. It was very clear, right? And Dr. Leaders told me that when you have someone like that around, what they do very often is they create they create a whirlwind. That's the word. They create a whirlwind. And their intention is to suck as many people as they can into the whirlwind. Always remember to stand outside of that whirlwind. And that was a brilliant piece of advice that I got from him, which I've used many, many times. Just stand outside of it, right? However, when we really advance ourselves, I'm throwing this out now, okay? I'm just throwing this out because you brought it up. When we really develop ourselves, we can actually stand in compassion of that person and be of service to them without getting caught up in the whirlwind, without getting caught up in it. Because once you get caught up in it, then you can't service anyone because you're part of it, right? You're part of the chaos now. But if you can stay outside of it, then and staying outside of it is just is not a physical space, right? It's a mental space. If you can stand outside of it, then you can actually be of service to them to the extent that you can, right? Whether it's just that they once in a while encounter you and you're there to be a voice of compassion for them or a place where they just feel safe, even that is an act of compassion for them, right? So keeping them in perspective, not judging them, and just being, that's very hard, I grant it, but it's also very beautiful for people who develop themselves to be able to do that for others. Okay. So we have this epic battle going on. It's like a war in the city. Our animal soul is definitely what is dominant in our lives. And it's very hard work for the divine soul within us to be heard. It's hard work. It's very hard work. But it is our work in this world. Do you want to be a light unto the nations? Do you want to be a light unto the world? Do you want to be a light to the people around you? The divine soul is the light. So the more we are willing to engage the divine soul, the more beautiful of a person we become. And by the way, everything is much more peaceful as well. All of the benefits come with it too. But there's a lot of resistance. And the resistance is the animal that's terrified that it's losing control of its own life. What about me? What about me? Okay, that's the great fear. Yes?
So would you say that the animal soul drives the biological needs of the
Yeah.
So that's how I'm understanding it.
That's good. That's good. That's one. So it plays out in on many different levels. That's one. That's a perfect example. I want to invite everyone to think about it on more of a relational examples between us and other people, right? So it's like, when my spouse wants something that I don't want. It's like, I can't believe it. We're finally going out for dinner one night, and you want to go to that restaurant, right? So that's a perfect example. Now, that's a normal reaction. Now, whether we say it, we're smart enough not to say it, right? Whatever the story is, right? Now, how we play it out is a separate story. I'm talking about the awareness of what's going on within us. Now, imagine a person who's actually happy. You want to go to that restaurant, and you're going to love it? That's fantastic. Like, I want to be in a place where you're going to be happy, right? That's like, wow. We all want to be married to that person, right? I'm married to that person, by the way. But that's a separate story. You're right, that's amazing, right? That's really amazing. That is, we can develop ourselves to be there. When we diminish our own selves and our own need to have things my way, right? And to make space for another. There are a lot of nuances here which I don't have time to go into right now. There are a lot of other nuances to say about this. We shouldn't fool ourselves, and we shouldn't make believe that we care about the other person when we don't really care about them and then resent it. There's a lot to this. But I'm talking about the direction we're going to. Yes? Yes. That's another way of saying it. Yes. Exactly so. It's our self-oriented self, which is our ego. Exactly.